Dani. And that was 1990 in the yeshiva, and I was kind of just hanging around in the Sifriyat Chol, right? And like the Sifriyat Kodesh, and looking at the Talmud's volumes, and coming across two introduction to Midrash Shir HaShirim. And lo and behold, it was a revelatory moment, and I said, Kacha, that's the way to do it. That's what I want to do. And the reason I'm retelling it is not because I ran out of stories, but because I just saw that it happened to someone else. And not in 1990, just, 4 years after the article was published, but in 2016. There is a book by Carl Schove, called The Song of Songs and the Making of the Early Latin Christian Identity. Brilliant book. And look at the introduction. And he says, so I read two introductions to Midrash Shir HaShirim, and I said, yes, that's the way to do it. It's not a lock, it's a key. And I thought to myself, wow, so not only 4 or 5 years later, it provokes you and makes you, rethink the whole thing, but 30 years later, it does the same thing. And really, that's what Boyarin is about. He's not about being right. It's nice to be right, but he's not.
And sometimes he is.
But he's not about being right.
It's by accident.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about being right, like some of my, best Jews and my friends are, right? He's about changing the conversation and making us think and rethink and provoke us to, to not to stop ever. And that's what we are toasting for. So, Od Yenuvun B'Seiva Deshanim V'Ra'ananim Yiyu. And the drash is that Ra'ananim means that you keep, writing books that provoke and re-provoke us. And Deshanim means that you keep, inviting us to fancy restaurants that we can afford ourselves. So,
So then I will also start with the recollection of how you came to Berkeley. And the first seminar that we had was on Gittin. And I'm sitting in there with my Berkeley outfit, tank top and puffy pants and whatever, and I'm looking at this professor and I'm thinking, the guy must hate my guts. I'm like this German Schicksal in Berkeley outfit, and it was an amazing seminar with incredible dynamics, with all these motley characters there, and that started the long relationship that we had. That just, to make the long arc, Rabbi Stephen Greenberg just came to Berkeley. He said, I want to meet Charlotte, because Daniel keeps talking about her, and we had this really, he's one of the sweetest guys at home, and he sang the praises of you, so it was so nice. And that long-standing commitment that you've had to the strange characters that came upon Talmud and made it possible, that really helped to change the field of us.
Hi. Muli.
A short one. First, I want to thank everybody for contributing to the book, and I also want to mention that I'm really sorry Aaron couldn't be here. I think we're also really sorry Aaron couldn't be here, and to toast in part for his feeling as good as possible. And I also want to say that if you actually read this, I don't know how many of you have, but if you actually read this, you see that despite, we didn't do much editorial work in the sense of choosing things, because we basically, if you got a PhD from Berkeley in certain years, or if you are otherwise a Daniel student, you're in that book. So Daniel actually did the editing for us, as it were. But there emerges from it a real. Not exactly a method or a doctrine, right? But a set of concerns, and that is really interesting, and it's hard to pin down in one sentence or two. So I'm not going to try to do it because it's going to sound weird. But I think the book does convey that, and I think we owe that to Daniel, and so fine.
Now, Hussein.
So I want to, first of all, I wanted to say how much this book feels like a genuine honor to me. And it feels like a genuine honor, not because of the august names in it, and all of you are already august names or rapidly becoming august names, inshallah. But it feels like such an honor to me because I have a sense that my work continues, and that Talmudic transgressions is the correct designation. And I haven't read all of it yet. I only got the book about 2 weeks ago. Well, there was this complicated there is a complicated, I tried to explain to a friend of mine, well, it's being presented to me, but it actually was published 6 months ago. And so I've been like this great ascetic, and not reading it, but on the other hand, feeling more and more embarrassed that my son in Victoria, who by the way just got tenure, that my son in Victoria is telling me about articles in it, and he's read it, and I haven't yet seen it. So finally, Muli took pity on me. So I've started reading the work that you did, all of you, and those who are not here, is a real, that's a real tribute. I have a feeling that people will be remembering my name 50 years from now because they'll be quoting articles from this Festschrift. So it really feels like I just want to tell a real story. I started to tell it before, and I'll continue the story. I have a cohort of lovely graduate students now. Probably my last cohort, their cohort, and as all of you young folks know, now everybody comes with a set of pronouns. When you meet young people, it's my name is da-da-da, and my pronouns are such and such and such and such. So I delivered myself of the asinine statement in my lovely Talmud seminar that I'm too old to remember a set of pronouns for every person I knew. One of the students whom I hope God willing you will all get to know in the next few years because she's something. Chloe Pratt is her name. A friend of Jonah, as it happens. Came up to me afterwards during the coffee break, and she said to me words that made me cry. She said, "Daniel, you're too good for that. You're too good to get away with. I'm too old to remember." And I understood at that moment that what I was saying really was, I'm too old to open myself up yet again to a new world of people, and at that moment. So, from now on, God willing, God's help, I will be learning everybody's pronouns. And it turns out that even the cisgender folk tell me their pronouns. So it's so for the record, meanwhile, I'm still he, him. But I'm thinking of it today
Yeah.
for the, at some point. But it was being called to be myself, to continue learning, continue. And then another student in the class, a young conservative rabbi who's amazing. His name is Dan Stein. He's working as a rabbi. He's got a show. He's got a show. But he wants to learn. He said to me, after all, none of these folks would be here in your class if it hadn't been for the work that you did. So if there's one thing I'm really proud of, it's not how well I know Aramaic or how well I understand Latin, but it's the part that I played in opening up classical Jewish studies to Kol Man Dichvi, Lisa B'Nich, and the part that might play in some small way, I don't claim credit for it, but the little contribution to the revivification, the rejuvenation of Klal Yisrael, English folk, which turns out to be now I understand what I came to this world to carry. Down with Zionism.
Jonathan? Very briefly, and taking the privilege, because after all, I've known him a lot longer than any of you have, a moment about 25 years ago when you were talking to me. You'd only been at Berkeley a few years, and you were kind of down because you felt you weren't getting heard, you weren't really making an impact on the way rabbinics was being taught and studied in the American Academy. And I said to you, wait till your Talmidim get out into the world and start having Talmidim of their own. And so I want to thank all of you for proving that nechama of mine to be correct. Chaim.